Take one fresh and tender kiss, add some stolen night of bliss. One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy. Memories are made of this. Don't forget a small moonbeam falling lightly with a dream. Your lips and mine, two sips of wine. Memories are made of this. Then at the wedding bells, one house where lovers dwell, three little kids for the flavor. Stare carefully through the days, see how the flavor stays. These are the dreams you will savor. With blessings from above, serve generously with love. One man, one wife, one love through life. Memories are made of this. Memories are made of this.
Hey, we got quite a treat tonight. I'm going to castigate Ross Terrio, and then we're going to have Mr. Baseball on, because I guess the restaurant he worked at was so overwhelmed by the crowd streaming out from the 172nd birthday party. Ross Terrio, why weren't you at the 172nd birthday party?
Because there was no cake.
Well, the cake was there.
I heard it was stolen.
Well, I asked Matt Conahan if he wanted to steal it, but he was so mesmerized by the events going on inside the City Hall Aldermanic
How was the
chambers.
turnout?
Well, to be frank...
Thousands?
Well, Glenn forgot to put a sign up telling anybody that it was being held inside. You know, you could have had a sandwich board. The boys, the morning show, Moose and Peter White, had the thing that can be brought, and you could have put something there. But he forgot to tell them.
So how many people turned out?
Besides the people that were associated with the event and the parents of the kids from the jazz band from Central High and West. Oh, there was one family that walked in, but according to Matt, they walked out pretty quickly.
So it was not a good turnout. So
No.
they must have leftover cake.
Well, the cake's been cut up into 5 or 6 pieces.
Oh, I love cake.
We have no idea whether Glenn actually cut the city seal up, because that might violate statute.
Probably.
But it was very interesting because I was downstairs. Glenn forgot to tell the kids in the jazz band that it was going to be held upstairs, so they brought an upright piano. And there's no freight elevator, as you know, in City Hall.
Yeah, they just have that main one. So they
What
used it.
main one?
Well, the people elevator, the people's mayor.
Well, funny you should ask, because the drummer came in, and Lou D'Alessandro and I we were taking his stuff out. But if the door's open for more than 10 seconds, which we were holding it open, it stops. And it has to reset. So that really put a crimp in the festivities. Then I went down. I was on the first floor when the mayor arrived. And I think like a fire captain arrived there.
Uh-oh.
Somebody of that says, I'm here at your birthday party and I brought the fire truck. And Mayor Craig says, it's not my birthday party, and why is there a fire truck here? So I went upstairs to the third floor to get Glenn. Glenn, there's a fire with a fire truck. And Glenn didn't come down. And then I guess Mayor Craig had it sent back. And I talked to Matt Norman today, the city clerk, asking about, because I'm on the committee to...
The birthday committee?
Yeah, well, the committee to create economic mayhem in the city of Manchester. I represent Ward 10. So I asked Matt Norman about it. And I guess, because Glenn had told me that as part of the permit, they had to have a fire truck there.
Oh.
And I was wondering whether, because there was fireworks, but they're on the screen, because he makes videos.
Yeah.
So I wondered if he just forgot to tell him that the fireworks are going to be on a screen instead of real fireworks. So they brought it. But it turns out, I guess, he wanted a fire truck, a ladder truck, because you can hang a flag from the ladder.
Oh, okay.
But he also forgot the flag, I guess. So.
No, it's good though because Glenn is the people's mayor.
Oh, but yeah.
But he ran, so he's running this economic committee. He did the birthday, so we're getting a kind of a preview of what he's going to do when he's the mayor. What his administration would be, his proclivity to administer governance.
Well, possibly we'll all get to go around in fire trucks, particularly with the ladder. Do they still have the big steering wheel and back?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, it was something, John Clayton arrived, and the festivities had already started after 6:30, and John Clayton told me, according to the last agenda I had gotten, well, the kids said they never got an email from Glenn, that the jazz band was supposed to play at 7, and he wasn't supposed to speak at 8. And he originally had Mayor Craig like 8 after a couple of his videos.
Yeah.
There was a video of a black girl singing in a city, but I asked Matt Carnahan what it was about. He said, well, it's not Manchester. Nobody really, he didn't know why they were doing it.
So you're saying it wasn't maybe the most efficient or streamlined production that could have been?
Yes, but Glenn's blaming everything on Joyce Craig, so I guess it serves some function.
So there's some kind of infighting in the Craig administration.
Well, Joyce is the mayor, is elected by the people, but Glenn is the people's mayor.
And he's the power behind the throne.
Right, and she might have thought that a fire truck, that there's no flag for it to hang, and there's no fireworks to put out in case he burns down.
What if she sent the fire truck away to make Glenn look bad?
I think she sent the truck away because a fire truck should be at the company.
No, because if you've studied history, like I know you have, in ancient civilizations, the king would get concerned that a person or a general was getting too powerful and looking, so we'd have to get rid of him and make him look bad.
Where was the flag? Do you know I was castigated?
I was castigated by you.
I brought you here to castigate you. I didn't get a chance to. We can have the other background. There we go. The Ross Terrio show. Yes, Ross just got the bad news. Are you running for Senate?
So I was actually talking to my committee today, and I'm either going to run for
Tim Smith's committee,
state rep, or now do you endorse Tim Smith? Fully endorse him? Is that
did you hear that? Boy, stories travel
full-throated
fast.
endorsement. But anyways,
I'm running. I'm actually running for
state rep.
No, I'm not.
What are you running?
I'm running against Tony Pappas for
County Commissioner.
Awesome. You see, this disabled American veterans.
Yeah.
My motto is give a disabled vet a job.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll either run for state rep or state senate. But I know you've told me that because you're a full-throated Donna Soucy supporter, that once I sign up and officially for state senate, I can't be on the show anymore.
Well, you can only come on if Donna comes on for an equal amount of time.
Allows it.
And she's never been on my show.
Oh.
She has good sense.
Yeah. I have bad sense. I guess that disqualifies.
Either that or the Ray Buckley boycott still in place.
What's the Ray Buckley boycott?
Well, it's unofficial, and I don't want to get sued again.
Is he boycotting your show?
Hey, let's go back to Crybaby Waltz. Getting back to Glenn Ouellette and Yeah, it was a debacle. Lou D'Alessandro showed up, and Lou is venerable. I think he's 80 years old, and Glenn just has him wait there to give his speech. While he gives his speech, the vice chair, who I've never seen say a word about anything at our meetings.
Who's the vice chair?
Some guy named TBER. He's got a show.
Oh, he's the vice chair of the committee, Economic Development.
Right.
How long
Glenn
was that?
appointed him.
Can I see? I'd love to see video of that. Is that?
Oh yeah.
It's
Joe
on
Lar
MCTV?
Joe Lar, poor Joe Lar, who's on salary, I guess.
Yeah.
And he
Oh.
should get overtime. Was there?
He should. He's there till like 1 a.m. sometimes.
Because I told Glenn, come on, get this over at 8. Wow, we got the place till 10.
How long was Glenn's speech?
I couldn't take it. I went outside. If I wasn't outside, Bob Backus would never have come in. I was out there, and I got Lou and Pat. They came in. I got some of the families of the kids in the jazz band
Any
came in.
2020 presidential hopefuls there?
No, that's on Flag Day. Yeah. Right. Why don't you run for president? Well, this might be a bold move for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I've called on Art Beaudry to resign.
You should. He's a wonderful human being.
I don't think so.
What's your problem with Arthur? I consider him a friend. I think he's doing it. He puts in so much time. He's so passionate about the
So
schools.
what? So what? Anybody can put in a lot of time.
Mm.
I could point out many people that have put in lots of time in history.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he treated the
He
organization.
treated me fine.
Not you so and so.
I was gonna. That was an
It's going to be
illusion.
hard to get you to cry today.
Yeah.
It's usually Democrats that can make cry. Or
Name
dead
one.
I can't. I'm loyal to my party. This is the goose that's laying the Yankees egg, which we have Mr. Baseball on. Just another 5 minutes or so.
So now.
No, we should
yeah,
actually
this is
have
pretty-
a,
So
a
let me ask you
serious
this.
thing about that, not just
Let me ask you about
say
county
that
commissioner
chocolate.
run. Your chaotic.
No, we were talking
quest
about
for-
you.
I know, but I have a question about your county commissioner run. Are you the only Democrat running?
I don't know.
Oh. If you're going to go up to the State House and sign up.
I thought you could do it here.
I thought only state rep races, only races that were local to Manchester can you do here. So, for instance, Senate, you have to go up there.
I mean, I have to
Governor.
spend $4 to go up there?
How do you get Uber or bus? What?
Gas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's about, my car gets about 22
You
miles
could
a gallon.
thumb.
No, I'm not.
Wait,
I'm
I've
not
got an
gonna-
idea.
I'm not going to put this body in.
I
there.
want you to push the political envelope. I want you to move to a homeless camp in Ward 9.
I think the homeless camp I'll be moving to is in Massachusetts.
I know,
that's
but
another.
move to a homeless camp in Ward 9 and then run for school board against Arthur Beaudry and see if you can take him down.
Why would I run for school board?
Because you're upset with Arthur.
Yeah, I think he should resign. I don't think he's doing.
I
a good
think
job
he's.
as
I think he's
vice
doing a
chair.
great job. That's
You
probably-
would because you're ideological.
But anyways, move to Ward 9 and sign up for school board and take him down.
I think you would be a much better vice chair. That's what people tell me.
No, not after the last meeting. I got pretty angry, and you ripped me a new one.
Yeah, but see, I didn't realize that. I forgot, under Mayor Gatsis when they had all the people coming in for Common Core.
Yeah.
Remember, he moved a period where you can comment. He'd move it to the middle, so all the
okay.
people that showed up, he'd wear them down and then go. So I didn't know you'd have to wait for
I've got a
hour.
question though because
So I went to the men's room, and you sent me a message on my phone, quitter.
yeah.
And I said, what did I say to you? Oh, now I'm going to put you.
I think you said.
I'm going to put you. In
I
the
think you said
speech.
PTSD or something, and got mad and ripped me apart.
So
Rip me a new one.
I have it right here. So we're not taking any calls. Oh yeah, we will. Maybe it's one of the girls from you that will.
Maybe it's probably
rip you
somebody
up.
that's mad at me.
Hi, is this? If you're mad at Ross Terrio, you can speak. Otherwise, we're
Yeah.
going to cut you
No
right off at
praise.
the ankles.
We're not taking any calls.
I can't hear. Can you turn that up?
Is someone there, or is this a joke?
Hey, you're listening to the television. We can hear it.
I know, but whoever just said if you're against Ross Terrio, is it going to be the joke if you put me on?
I don't know who that is. I think I do. One of your many admirers.
No, it's
We
probably...
told you, no, we're not letting Ross get any praise tonight.
Mm.
He hates baseball.
That's not true. I think it's
What
boring.
did, what did you say?
I said it's boring.
You like mixed martial arts. Sound like a dad-burned communist. And then you insulted Howard Zinn.
Oh, that's his name, Howard Zinn.
Oh, you're getting close there, buddy. No, we should have a show where we can talk about you. You know, you can come on, defend Arthur Beaudry.
Is somebody on?
Oh, I think that was, what's her name, from the school board.
Lisa?
The one that has insulted me when I'm on the Matt Carnatan show.
Who's
on
that?
the board. You know, they have like the comment board.
Yeah, who's that?
I'm known as the voice of discretion, Mr. Terrio. Yeah. Are you going to use the fake spelling your name when you go on the ballot, or the original one?
I'm going to use the one that I go by, the easy one.
Oh, we have a new Gary
Now,
Hart.
let me ask you a question, and I know how much you support Donna. If I come on the show and I slip
talk about
I
you?
slip in that I'm officially running for state senate, are you going to kick me off?
Yes.
Okay.
Which would make for exciting television, don't you think? But no, we should organize things. Maybe the U organization come on, and we
I
can
thought
talk
you already
about it.
invited them.
Yeah, but they
They didn't accept.
no.
They have good sense.
Yes, they do. Maybe it was one of them.
No.
Oh, so you know who it was?
I would
I
I've
thought
heard
it
a
was
lot
Heidi,
of them.
my friend Heidi Hamer.
Oh, hey, you know what? It might have been Heidi.
It sounded like Heidi, and her husband had a harsh word for you.
Oh yeah, he did. I don't know
Yes.
why. He called me despicable.
He did?
Yeah, just because I thought there was a conflict of interest. I raised it as an issue. I didn't use any
Are we talking about
obscenities.
you?
Talking about the debate at the thing. I don't know why that's
What debate
despicable. At the school board.
Oh, I didn't. I left. I don't have a
Oh,
television.
no.
Well, I have a television, but I don't have cable or any way to watch TV. I just watch movies. Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, it is true. Oh, there's nothing on TV. And I can't afford getting baseball.
How are we doing on time now? Because I know you want to go to.
I know that you want to cavort.
I know.
Jim O'Connell's waiting for you.
Oh, is
He's
he?
gonna. He didn't finish his filibuster.
7:20. That Jim is amazing.
What do you mean?
Well, I've been on these different shows, and by yourself, it's almost impossible to talk. But Jim can talk. He can fill up the whole hour on his own. That, to me, is mind-boggling.
I know.
I could not do it. I would run out of things to say after about 10 minutes.
Well, I can't understand how Rich Gerard does it either.
Rich
he
is
just
good at it,
look-
too.
He
He can
just
just-
looks at the camera and goes at it.
He's a good public speaker. Jim's a good public speaker, and Rich is, too, because, I take notes. I have to think about what I'm saying. I get tongue-tied.
Well, Jim's very well educated, so it's all there in his head.
I don't know. I mean, he's an intelligent person. I don't know what his education is.
Oh, I'm sure he comes from
Ireland.
Well, he was educated in England.
My
But
relatives...
we're avoiding. I think Arthur Beaudry should resign.
I don't
We
think
can get
so.
into it at another time.
I think you should
When
run-
it comes to the fact, the $150,000 we lost over a caught in student, you have to look at things like that. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. Whereas like Gerard, the stuff he said on his show,
Yeah,
making
you
fun
brought
of
that
the
up,
kid.
but he wasn't even a school board member. He was just a
Yes,
member of the
but
public.
he's in the law. He's mentioned in the lawsuit. Of course, he's not a defendant.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been mentioned because he was.
Why shouldn't he be?
Because he wasn't a school board member.
Well, we'll have a show and we can talk about that. I mean, in a sober type of way. We won't drink before the show, only afterwards. No, but you can come on.
All right.
But
Did I announce my state senate candidacy?
no, that's on the Rich Gerard show.
All right.
Why don't are you ever on the Rich Gerard show?
Years ago. Does he still have a show?
I can never tell when you're just.
I don't know.
I almost went over the line there. When you're pulling my chain.
Huh. No, I haven't seen. I know he stopped his radio show, and I was on his.
Yeah, they pulled somebody.
TV show years
The plug
ago.
was pulled on his radio show.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'm kidding.
But so when is when is his TV show on?
I know, but I'm not going to tell you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm being very difficult with you.
You are,
tonight.
you are. I just come across different shows randomly, like Mary George's has a show, Victory Woman, I believe. I watch that from time to time.
Well, now we're boring everybody.
Yeah,
and
that's
Mr.
true.
Baseball's here.
Yeah.
You were invited to stay on the baseball
Sorry.
show.
Baseball's boring.
See, he finally admits it.
It is. I used to play baseball as a kid, and I loved it. And then I got older. I started to like football and MMA and things like that. And
Now, is that something to tell when you're running for office?
yeah,
Okay.
you might as well be honest with the people.
All right, 12th, I got somebody on. Why don't you try coming on the 19th? And I'll talk to you in the meantime. We can talk about
the sign-ups are between now and the 15th.
Oh,
So
if
I
you're-
might be official candidate by. I'll be an official candidate by then, but we don't know if it's state rep. Now, can I come on your show from a state rep candidate?
No.
Wait a minute. I thought it was just Senate that I couldn't come on. Why both state rep?
I'm being pretty obstreperous right now.
What's obstreperous mean?
An SOB.
Is that like?
What's like cantankerous?
Oh, okay, so it's not like being an obtuse dullard.
I'm getting anxious to talk about baseball.
Okay,
aren't you,
okay.
Mr.
I'll let you go.
Baseball?
I'll let you go.
But no, would you come on and we'll talk about it between us.
Mano a
and
mano.
We'll have a real discussion. Maybe we'll talk with Jim too, and we'll talk about the issue of you because you're on the committee now.
Yes, sir.
And I see that Art Beaudry pulled off Dave Scannell and Katie DeRochers.
Yes.
Yeah, let's Art Beaudry. You should resign.
No,
and we're
Arthur,
working
don't
on-
listen to him.
Well, Art Beaudry's not going to listen to me.
If he has any good sense, he won't.
Yeah, but we can get the ball rolling
All right.
to where he, like in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, with like Claude
Tim
Rains.
Smith, the person who you
No,
fully endorsed.
Hey, we're going to do
All right.
baseball now.
All right,
Thanks
so
to
that's
Ross
the segue.
Terrio.
Thank you for
I'll
having me
walk
on,
you
John.
out.
Nice meeting you.
Come over
My
here.
pleasure.
Tim McClellan with the bat in his hand. Now they're going to measure it across home plate.
Hi, and welcome to the first edition of the Baseball Show for a long time. We drove Ross Terrio off. Well, what is that? It says the Yankees Suck Show. Mr. Baseball, what can I say? Do we have another background that's less... oh, here we go, the Baseball Show.
Yeah, I wonder who put that, I wonder who was behind that other one.
Do you think it's Peter Stoller? Who was on earlier?
Punch, it might be my co-host
From Mr. Baseball?
Yeah.
Well, how are you doing? It's been a long time since you've been on my show, my baseball show.
I know. It's been since January.
Yeah, Ross Terrio was my guest tonight, and I drove him off the show just to make a space for you.
Well, Sounds good.
Let's talk some baseball trivia because we talk more about the day-to-day stuff on your show, Mr. Baseball,
Right.
and anything that this season, 2018, reminds you of any other season. Like we were talking about the Yankees and the great power they have, but the lack of pitching. In my lifetime, I always think of the Yankees as having great pitching,
Oh, absolutely.
good hitting, and superstars,
Yeah.
but not murderers rows like the 77, 78 Red Sox that didn't have the pitching to get past the Yankees.
No, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it seems kind of like a little reversal of
I enjoyed
fortune.
those 2 years, 77 and 78, not because I'm a Yankee
Well, it's
fan,
great baseball.
because I lived in Los Angeles. And who did we beat in the World Series
The
both
Dodgers,
years?
both years.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
My ex told me she was at the 77 World Series. She must have been 14 years old, I think. And I said, were you at the one where Reggie hit 3 home runs in successive at-bats? She said, I never watched the game. It's Los Angeles. We just, get in a bus, go down there, and socialize.
Typical LA fan. Come in the third inning and leave in the seventh.
Oh, yeah, that was always...
Oh, we know our
'cause
baseball out here in California. Go.
well, they have that traffic.
Well, I know.
It's not like coming in on a subway and going to Yankee.
It wasn't really bad to get into Chavez Ravine because there were 4 or 5 entrances from different areas. So
Yeah, and it was north. It's in the north.
Yeah.
Or it was in the north.
north.
That was the, now they've got the new highways up there. But,
Yeah. It was.
But the Yankees pitching, Sabathia's he's through, isn't he?
I think so. He's going tonight. I have no faith in him anymore.
Well, the Tiger, they just played the Tigers, the Yankees, and the Red Sox are playing the Tigers tonight. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Joel Elber and I are going to see the game.
Right.
Oh, man, I could have taken you.
I didn't know we'd be closed, but
Yeah, you didn't know you'd have the night off, too.
right.
But who are they playing tonight? Who are the Yankees playing tonight?
Toronto
Toronto. Well,
up there.
they might be able to catch their breath after a night game and a doubleheader.
Well, Toronto's fairly tough at home. So, and Sabathia going? I don't know.
So he's reached the end of the road.
I think so. If he doesn't retire after this year, I hope the heck they cut him loose.
So what do you have? You just have one starter in the Yankees, really, don't you?
Severino, sometimes Sonny Gray pitches well. Tanaka sometimes pitches well.
How come-
You get past those 3, it's not that good.
What kind of year is Tanaka having?
He's 7-2, but
Yeah.
it's some of those games, the Yankees outslug the other team, and Tanaka can give up 4 runs and win 6-4. That type of thing. So,
Still, he's on a pace to be a 20-game winner.
well, it's possible.
But probably not.
Probably not.
The long, hot summer, that's what's unique about baseball.
Yeah.
162 games.
Yeah,
Even it was 154. It was a
I think
god.
Severino has a great shot. He's got 9 already. And the last 10 starts, the Yankees have won them.
How's your
won the
bullpen?
Bullpen's fair. They just sent Holder down to the minors. That surprised me. They used him yesterday, although they had to bring in Chapman to save the game because Holder gave up a couple of runs. But they've got Green and Robertson and Betances and Warren's back. So that's a kind of a shot in the arm. So the bullpen's fine. No excuses there.
What? But it's the hitting that the Yankees are feasting on.
Oh, I know. I said that before the season started.
Judge had 16 dingers.
Yeah, he's ahead of last year's pace.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
How's Stanton doing?
He's got 13.
Oh, I thought it was 4. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, he hit one yesterday, and he's been okay. 250 hitter, 13 dingers. That's not setting the world on fire at all.
What's his problem, do you think? Just adjusting to New York?
Probably that, and worried about the fans. The fans have gotten on him already. You don't come over after hitting 59 home runs and winning the MVP and have a mediocre season with the New York fans.
Yeah, but 14 ding, well, isn't mediocre.
No. No,
He never had that high a batting average. I mean, what was it, 280s?
Yeah.
280.
And he'll
I think he's just a career 270 hitter.
I think he'll probably get going.
Yankee Stadium is Yankee 3 is not like Yankee 2.
No.
The Yankee 3 is the new Yankee Stadium is like a bandbox.
Yeah, it's
Compared to the old Yankee Stadium, made pitchers, particularly a left-hander.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Jeez, left-handed pitcher at the old Yankee Stadium.
Lefty
Death
Gomez.
Valley.
Lefty Gomez and Whitey Ford.
Well, when Lefty was there, what was it? 469 feet?
To dead center.
Yeah.
Death Valley, they called it.
It was Death Valley in the 70s, too.
Yes, it was.
All that right-handed firepower the Red Sox had would come to Yankee Stadium, and Mickey Rivers would be out there ready to flag those balls down,
Yeah.
which would have been home runs anywhere else.
Exactly right.
He'd flag them down in deep
Yeah.
left center. Yeah. Yeah, he was quite a character.
Yeah,
Mickey
he
Rivers.
was. Yeah, he was.
Oh, that 70s team was... The 70s or the late 70s.
Yeah.
With Billy Martin as the manager. My God. And
Which
then
time?
Reggie Jackson.
Which time?
Reggie Jackson was just a guy who could step into any high-pressure situation. The higher the pressure.
Nothing bothered him.
Well, Billy Martin did.
Well, bothered Jack. Well, those two, yeah, they
Bob
clashed.
Lemon didn't bother him.
No, they got along well with him.
He never got along. He never got along with his teammates, but he seemed to get along with his managers. He never really had any trouble with Dick Williams, who was a real SOB. But Billy Martin just hated his guts.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Well, there could only be one prima donna on a Billy Martin team, and it was Billy Martin.
Yeah.
Jeez. But Billy did one of the great lines in baseball before he got fired, when he said his two problems were Reggie and George Steinbrenner. One's a born liar and one's convicted.
Right. Exactly
He got
right.
fired right that day.
Yeah.
78 season. We thought we were going to win 110 games that year.
It's like when Hawk Harrelson, said Charlie Finley was a detriment to baseball. He was gone the next day.
Yeah, to the 67 Red Sox.
Yeah.
Then he went off to Cleveland. We shipped him off to Cleveland.
Yeah, now
He
he's
didn't want to go.
now the White Sox announcer.
Oh, he's been there forever.
Yeah.
He was a great announcer with the Red Sox, but...
Oh, he announced for the Sox?
oh, yeah.
I didn't
Him
know
and Ned.
Oh, with Ned. Okay.
They did great work together. But then he went to the White Sox. Then he was briefly the general manager at the team. Did you know that?
No.
That didn't last long.
Of
I think
the.
when Reinsdorf first bought the team.
Oh, okay. You're
That
ta-
didn't last long. Then he went back into the booth.
Oh.
Hawk, he was something. He used to go around with Derek Sanderson of the Bruins.
Oh, is that right? They were
Yeah,
pals.
Derek Sanderson had a Rolls Royce. He wound up as a homeless person living at
I
the
know.
Boston Library.
Yeah.
But he got bailed out by the Bruins. But
Yeah.
they used to be two dandies, with their cars and their clothes. And
Somebody
everything.
took Sanderson in, some Bruin. And,
Right. Yeah.
And gave him a home.
I guess he had substance abuse problems
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But
Is he
Yeah.
still alive?
I don't know.
Uh,
The Yankees. I wonder what Casey Stengel thought of the Yankees at the end of his life.
oh, I
Did he ever say anything about the Yankees?
No, he just said his big mistake was turning 70.
And losing the 60 World Series.
Yeah.
Which we were supposed to have a whole show on that, remember? But it was too raw.
Yeah. He did watch that one.
Most famous manager in history, though.
Yeah, he and John McGraw.
Oh, no. Casey's.
I
more
said,
famous.
well, he's in the same class.
Oh, it's a great one.
Connie Mack, because he owned the team. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been manager for 54 years.
Uh-oh. I got somebody's called me a hypocrite for putting Ross Terrio on my show.
Oh my goodness.
So I was right who called earlier.
Oh.
We're going to have Ross is going to come back on Ward 13 show. and we'll talk about the U and the representation on the student board and why I think Art Beaudry should resign as vice chair. But we're talking about baseball. We got 25 minutes, Mr. Baseball.
All right.
Some memories. Why do you love the Yankees so?
Well, because my brother pushed me into them in
Oh,
1949.
it can't just be that. You have to love a team.
Well,
Nobody.
I fell in love with them that year, 49. And they won 5 consecutive World Series. I had pinstripes in my blood after that. You know.
They even won 2 after the great Joe DiMaggio retired. And I think he only hit about 250 in his last year. Is that true?
It was
In 51?
it was pretty weak.
But he was in the outfield with young Mickey Mantle.
Right.
Was Mickey Mantle had 6 on his back then when he
Right.
started out.
Exactly right.
Why was Mickey in center field in the 51 World Series? Or did he just...
No, he was in right field.
But he ran into center field.
Well, to go after a ball which DiMaggio ended up catching, and he caught his foot in the drainage,
An open drain that
Yeah.
should have been covered up.
twisted his
Can
leg.
you imagine? Can you imagine what his career would have been like without that? He's already one of the greatest players in his prime.
Oh, I know. You
He
just-
matches up. That was the most tremendous time for center fielders in one city.
Oh, I know.
Mays, Mantle,
and
and
Snyder.
Duke Snyder, 3 Hall of Famers, 2 first ballot,
Yeah.
all-time greats. Willie being the greatest living player,
Yeah.
and arguably one of the greatest player of ever. You know, he can actually bid for that title.
Oh, I
and-
would go along with that.
But if Mickey hadn't, all those injuries with Mickey, did
Oh.
he have a bone disease or something?
Yeah, osteomyelitis.
Because when I was a kid, I was a Yankees fan in the way that kids are, because they were in the first 5 World Series of my lifetime. Well, 59, but, you know, I was just born then. No, I was born at the end of October, so that was after the 59 World Series. See, I got the 59 World Series in, and we got the 51 in, too. But this is a joke we have. And so they were in the first 5, and Babe Ruth I've known all my life. And thinking back, not only because he was so famous, but because it must have been when I was 2 years old, Roger Maris broke the greatest sports record of all time, you know, which was at the time single season home runs. You know,
Yeah.
just brute floors.
The last
Which
one up,
fascinates me.
Tracy Stallard on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
In fact, the final score of that game was 1-0.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That was the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Tracy Stallard. But yeah, and Maris had already won an MVP the year before with
Right.
39 dingers. Then he hit 39 the year after that, and then he was a quality outfielder and essential player on the Cardinals that won 67 World Series and went
Yeah.
7 games of 68.
He wanted to retire, but August Bush promised him a distributorship if he played
Which
a
he
couple.
got, which he gave him.
Yeah, he gave him. I think in North Dakota. I'm not positive.
Yes, because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
No, I think he was in Florida. He lived in Florida at the end, but it could be the distributorship in North Dakota.
He
No,
also,
I think he ended his life in Florida.
he also lived in Kansas, maintained a home in Kansas City.
Oh, because he was on the Kansas City
Yeah,
Royals.
and when he even
No,
when,
Kansas City Athletics.
when
yeah.
he was with the Yankees, he maintained his home in Kansas City in the off season.
Isn't that? Oh, because he's a more Midwesterner than
Yeah,
a New
so the
Yorker.
distributorship could have been, which makes sense because
Could have been in Kansas.
Missouri
Yeah.
could have been.
Right, that'd make, And, but the point is when I was a boy, I remember looking in a newspaper, and there's Mickey Mantle in crutches. I don't know if it was 62 or 63 World Series. And it was always a thing with Mickey, He was always injured.
Yeah,
And he was a hero of mine as a boy. And he went to spring training in 69, and then he announced his retirement because he had nothing left.
yeah.
But this is a guy that, but for those injuries, my God. Well, but for 2 years in the Army, Willie Mays might have hit 700 home runs. Same thing with Ted Williams, but 5 years in the military. It's if, but there's a good chance it would happen. What what kind of career would he had? Because Bill James, one of the great founders of sabermetrics,
Yeah.
said that when you match up in his prime, Willie and Mickey actually had an advantage.
Yeah.
But What wasn't, you know?
Yeah, true.
Still 536 dingers.
Yeah. Willie 660.
Yeah, Willie Mays was awesome. He had like a second career.
He did.
You know, most guys in those days after 30. That's why, who was the great general manager of the Reds who traded away Frank Robinson at the age of 30?
Yeah, he's an old 30. So he came over and won the Triple Crown.
and took the Orioles to their first ever World Series victory.
And they got that pitcher, Milt Pappas, for him.
Milt Pappas was a fine pitcher, but still, it was always one of those.
Do you know
My God, what, you know.
do you know his wife drove off one day and disappeared completely?
Milt?
Milt Pappas' wife. And where they lived, you go down a hill, and there was a lake.
Where did he live?
I don't know, but you check it out, and it's very interesting. For some reason, they had to drain the lake or pond, whatever it was, and there was the car with her in it.
Oh, how awful.
Yeah, 5 years later or something.
Do you think it happened, she drove in there because she couldn't take that he was the punchline to the worst trade of the time?
No, I think she just was a woman driver.
No, we don't
Sorry,
allow that.
sorry, dear, I'm just kidding.
We don't allow that type of talk on any Ward 13 associated show. Only off the show.
I have no clue what happened. I don't think it was underhanded. I think it was an accident.
And when Frank Robinson retired in 1975, he only trailed Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and Willie Mays for all-time homers. He hit 589.
Right.
Nowadays, he would have hung on to get 600.
Yeah.
And Al Kaline would have hung on to... He retired with 399.
Tomey got over 6, didn't he?
Who?
Jim Tomey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he ended up.
The idea of Jim Tomey being a Hall of Famer is, and 600 home runs. He's not.
He's going to get it, though. He's going into the Hall. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know when.
It's horse. He was never. He's not the type of player to be. He's not even a Hall of Famer.
Well, he will get it because of the 600 home runs.
Well, they just voted him in, didn't they?
I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, I thought he got voted in. They put him in this year.
Really?
600 home runs. It's like 350 home runs now, honestly. Jim Tomey, who would ever,
Yeah. How many 300-game winners are you going to see in the future? Pitchers.
Well, I wouldn't even put him with Don Sutton was a guy you'd never think would be in the Hall of Fame. He was never more than a number 3 starter. He never won 20 games. When he was a kid, they were saying he's going to win 20 games, and they said that for years. Then they figured he's never going to win 20 games, but he won 320.
Yeah, and he had.
He was, but Louis Tiant was a much better pitcher.
He was. But in all fairness to Sutton, he had longevity, and he pitched well for 20 years.
So?
That's why he got 300.
I would never. He's just not a person I think Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He hit 612 dingers.
Tomey, 612.
I guess he isn't in the Hall of Fame. When did he retire? Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. He got retired. He got in this year. Jim Tomey is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what all this crazy home run stuff did. It put a guy that's just a B player.
Yeah.
Into the first ballot Hall of Fame. And Jim Rice, it took 15 years. I tell you, Gil Hodges is not in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not.
It's crazy. And Jim Tomey is.
Yeah.
Hodges was one. Dick Allen was a better player.
Dick Allen's a very good ball player.
He hit 350 dingers.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds' father is a better player.
Bobby Bonds, yeah.
He hit about 330 taters.
Yeah.
But they brought something more to the game. Of course, Dick Allen was a head case. Jeez, he got treated with kid gloves in Chicago, and he still just, blows it. Bill Veeck treated him like he was God. He made twice as much as anybody else. He gave him $200,000 a year for Yaz, and we're only making $100,000.
Yeah.
But Who knows what was it? You know,
Yeah.
maybe it was racism. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Remember, they called him Richie at first because of he was on the Phillies.
Yeah,
And
Richie. Yeah.
Richie, and because it was Richie Ashburn, who eventually got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
One of the greatest center fielders in history.
Yeah.
Fielder.
I think he still holds a record for most putouts in a season.
Yeah.
Center field.
Well, he's in the Baker Bowl.
He
which
won
is
2
huge.
batting championships. He was a good ball player.
Richie Ashburn.
Yeah, he was part of the Whiz Kids 50.
He never got
1950.
3,000 hits, though.
No, he didn't get 3,000 hits.
Neither did Slaughter, but he finally got it.
I don't know if Ashburn was in the service.
Probably, almost everybody was.
I know he played for the Mets, so he played through
He
the
hit-
50s.
He led the Mets, the 62 Mets that lost 120 games with a 308 average, and he quit. And Popeye, the manager of the 1978
I know who
Red
you,
Sox, whose name I'm not going to mention, you can if you'd like to.
Popeye is no longer with us. He passed away.
Do you want to mention his name? Because I won't.
Don Zimmer.
Yes, he tells Richie Ashburn, "Why are you retiring? You hit 308." He said, "I'm embarrassed." That's something that Popeye, Don Zimmer, was never. He was never embarrassed. He's a professional hanger-oner.
I actually saw him play in the 55 World Series, Zimmer.
Lucky you.
I wasn't there for the final game, the 7th, but he was in the 7th game. I think he actually got a single somewhere along the line.
Did he use his head?
I don't know. All I know is Padres had his changeup working that day, and he mowed him down left and right.
That was the only World Series that Brooklyn won, right?
Yeah.
Now, Koufax was on a World Series team with
56.
Brooklyn, but he never pitched, right?
Right, 56. So was Drysdale. They were both in that 56 team.
Richie Ashburn got 2,574 hits. Career 308 hitter.
Did he miss time for the service, or was that he was
He hit
after?
306 last year with the Mets.
That's good hitting.
With 81 bases on balls. That's a disciplined hitter.
Yeah.
Jeez, look at the plate appearances he had. Regularly over 700.
Jeez. He was a good ball player.
Nope, he was never in the service.
No. Okay, so he had a career much after it then. But
Unless he was in, he came up at the age of 21, which all real great players seem to come up 21 or 22.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them. Some blossom early, particularly pitchers.
Yeah.
Like Warren Spahn, because he was in the war too.
Yeah.
But that generation. So he might have been in as a kid.
Yeah.
He could have done time as a kid. But Willie Mays did his 2 years in the early 50s.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Mickey Mantle never did, but that's probably because of his knee.
Yeah. And Whitey Ford did 2 years.
When Carlton Fisk came to the West Side High School, when my brother was a freshman, I wasn't there. He was in his Army uniform.
Oh, yeah.
PFC, 1-up and a rocker.
Yeah, I'll be darned.
Yeah, I think he was Rookie of the Year, 72, and he won his only Gold Glove that year.
Yeah.
And
He and Munson. Oh, my
yeah, but I guess he still, he still had some of his service to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was two of the great catchers,
Yeah.
hitting and fielding,
Right.
come up at the exact same time.
I know.
And boy, they hated each
Oh,
other.
did they?
Boy, Lou Piniella and Carlton Fisk had a monumental battle, but we won't go into those days. Those two teams like to fight. Hated each other.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get into that.
They clashed. They had a good brawl one time. Munson came in pretty good to home plate.
Are any of your children baseball fans?
Oh, yes.
Is there a Mr. Baseball Junior, or what would you call a girl if she was a junioress?
Yeah, my little Suzanne, she works for the Dodgers. She's
In the VIP lounge.
right. And she's a Yankee fan, but she won't wouldn't say that there, working there.
Yeah, they're not exactly.
Ron Say hangs around there quite a bit.
The Penguin.
Yeah.
Does she ever bring up Goose Gossage?
No, but
Goose
she met.
Gossage nearly cut his head off with a fastball
No, he.
in the '81 World Series.
She met Don Newcomb. Don Newcomb's wife gave him some.
Don
Gave her some
Newcomb?
stuff, some memorabilia of some sort. And my son Nick is a very knowledgeable fan. He's a Giants fan.
Was Don Newcomb only the second African American pitcher in modern history after Satchel Paige? I can't think of anybody else that came up.
Dan Bankhead.
Well, he came up with Don Newcomb, didn't he?
I
He was a
think-
Dodger too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So when did Nuke come up?
He came up in '49.
Nuke played in Nashua along with Campy.
Yes.
They made sure that the players, Branch Rickey, were in the north, Montreal for what would be the equivalent of AAA,
Yeah.
and AA, which is B, was it B then? They played in Nashua. So my uncles watched Nuke and Campy came up. Campy was half Italian,
Yes.
you know,
Campanella. Yeah.
but considered black, of course. If he'd had one drop of black blood then, in the South, where the legacy of racism. It's hard to believe that I was shocked that we were talking about it on your show, that Willie Mays was only 11th African American player that had come up. And he came up in '51,
Right.
and Jackie came up in '47.
Right.
Well, there's 5 seasons
Yeah. And then.
and only 11 players. They're very slow to integrate.
Yeah. Luke Easter, I think, came up in '50 or '51. Larry Doby, of course, came up
Sam Jethro with the Braves in '50.
'50. He was rookie of the
Braves,
year.
yeah. The Braves, much sooner than the Yankees or the Red Sox were the last 2 teams to integrate.
Yeah.
Because, we missed Hank Aaron because by the time he came up, we were
Yeah.
in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What a ball player he was.
Probably, is he the greatest right-handed hitter? He's up there with Jimmy Fox. How was he as an outfielder?
Oh, he was a
Hank
very
Aaron.
good outfielder.
He won a few Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
Nobody's like Willie Mays won 11.
Oh, Mays was something else. Mays was in a class of his own.
Then in right field,
Yeah.
Clemente.
And
I
Tommy.
think he won multiple Gold Gloves.
Oh, he had a
They said he had a tremendous arm.
rifle. My God. He threw bullets.
3,000 hits too.
I saw it play. I get tired of the plays of the week because
Yeah.
you've seen one, you've seen them all. But somebody hit a single to right. Judge came charging and picked up the ball and fired a bullet to the catcher, and they nailed the runner. And they said the ball came in 100 miles an hour. Now that seems a little fast for me, but could
Well,
be.
I don't believe all that type of stuff, like with the 105 miles an hour, because there's 2 different guns they use, and
Yeah,
it's exciting to hear that people are throwing higher than ever. I don't know the truth.
I don't like the velocity going out and how
Yeah,
high
all
it
these-
goes, the arc. That stuff.
Best outfield arm I ever saw was Dwight Evans. He had started out as a pitcher,
Best one I ever
and geez, that was as good as it gets, and deadly accurate, and as quick.
saw. Yeah, the best one I ever saw was Rocky Colavito,
Dave Parker had a hell of an
and
arm, too.
Colavito actually pitched in relief both ends of a doubleheader for the Yankees.
Isn't that interesting? Because, like I said, Dwight Evans was a pitcher.
Yeah.
But Reggie had a hell of an arm, but it just he'd throw, but it just wouldn't go where it was supposed to go. So it kind of one thing negates the other, right?
Exactly right.
There was some famous player towards the end of his career who had arm trouble. This was back in the '40s or something, and one of the great managers puts him in the outfield, and the sports are just saying, "How can you do it?" and you're in the World Series. Says, I just told him if I can't get it into the infield, I just want him to throw it in the infield. And if he can't do that, kick it in.
Kick it
Because he still had such a potent bat.
Remember Paul O'Neill did that. He got so angry.
Just
he got
kick
so
it in.
angry he couldn't pick up the ball, so he just kicked it, and it went right to one of the infielders.
No DH in the 40s, although in 1930, as an answer to in the late 20s, as an answer to the American League, which is surging in popularity because of Babe Ruth and his type of baseball, National League thought about having the designated hitter, but they used a lively ball in 30, and my God, the batting averages that year were unbelievable.
Bill Terry.
There was one team, I think, that hit over 300.
I think it was the Phillies.
The Phillies hit over 300
for the season, yeah.
Yeah, there was a Phillies team back in the 1880s that had 400 hitters, but
Yeah, that's a different era.
Well, wouldn't you like to see that in the Yankees?
Well, sure, but that would be something today.
Would you rather have 400 hitters or 4 guys that are going to hit 60 dingers?
How
about 2 of each?
Yeah, split them up.
Jeez, can you imagine having Babe Ruth and
Austin Romine is hitting almost 400 for the Yanks.
Yeah, but that's not going to last.
Well, of course not. But my God, he's never been a hitter. This year, with men on base, he's something else. Yesterday, he had a 3-run homer.
Well, Ty Cobb had a career resurgence in the mid-20s, and he was accused of sneaking off to Switzerland or someplace and getting monkey gland extract. That's true,
I never, ever read that.
Oh, I can find it for you.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he was accused of getting, because there was all sorts of quacks going around, like embryo injections and stuff. And
he made his fortune in Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, from Georgia, the Georgia Peach.
Yeah.
He was worth $2 million when he died. It should be about $20 million now.
Yeah.
Which, in an era when probably the top ball player got $7,000 a year,
Yeah.
that's quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And he used to be quite generous to other players. And any last thoughts, Mr. Baseball?
No, it's nice to relax and be on the show at this time.
Tell my fans about your new gig. Your new gig as a bartender. Where are you now bartendering?
I am bartending at the North End Bistro, which is situated at Elm and Myrtle. Plenty of parking, great food, dining experience is wonderful. And
you're not far from a tattoo parlor, too. You can get a tattoo and then get...
sure, you can go across the street and get a tattoo.
And then get watered at your bar.
Yeah. And
properly
there are a couple
watered.
of tobacco shops next door to each other there.
All the senses... Well, there's one, but we won't get into that. Oh, maybe they can pick somebody up at the bar.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there a lot of people coming there still?
Yeah.
It's been packed.
Yes, it has.
And I hear it's got did it get rated the best hamburger in the Queen City?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Already. Yeah.
But what about your other favorite place? Do you have any words for them at Billy's?
Yeah. Cindy, pour me a nice cold draft beer. I'm on my way to Billy's.
And are you going to take the goose?
The Detroit Goose?
That's the Yankees goose. Take care.